Welcome along to episode 861 of the Milk Bar. Jason Forrest here with you as ever. Coming up on the show this week, we'll be talking to James Alexander Gibbs of Frankie's Guys, all about their appearance at the Grand Theatre in January 2026. Grime Gran, the woman who told the Kardashians what a baked potato was, will be along as we talk about how to avoid scams. Merlin Griffiths, the bartender off First Dates, is along to give us a few tips on wine. Nick Knowles will be here to give us some household hacks. And Peter Duncan, Blue Peter star and musical theatre man, is along to talk panto. That's all on the way on the show this week.
Welcome to the Milk Bar. 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 Welcome to the Milk Bar.
Come the 11th of January, Frankie's Guys are at the Grand Theatre. One of them himself is James Alexander Gibbs, who joins me now. How are you, sir?
Very well, thank you. And how are you doing?
All good here, and loving the fact that some of the most amazing songs on the planet are going to be sung as a tribute to Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons at the Grand on that 11th of January date. It's going to be an absolute treat, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. If you're not familiar with the show, we are Frankie's Guys, and we are singing all your favourite Frankie Valli hits and a whole lot more.
All of the team have appeared in so many shows, and this is just really a chance for you guys to show off with some fantastic tunes.
Absolutely, yeah. All your favourite Frankie Valli hits will be in there with some lovely dance routines to match. The slick red jackets may appear. And we also tell a few jokes at the same time.
The red jacket is a vitally important part. It's amazing how that red jacket changes the song somehow, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's become such an iconic symbol of the show. Seeing the four gentlemen stood there, ties, red jackets, shiny black shoes. Yeah, it wouldn't be a show without that costume.
Celebrating 10 years of the tour for this particular show. How long have you been part of it?
So I've been there for about 9.5 of the 10 years. So I am one of the longest standing members. You may see the grey in my beard, the high notes brought it out.
I just thought you were paying to have highlights put in to bring the sparkle under the light. So that was my assumption. But as well as all that, I mean, you've appeared in all sorts of West End shows and the like, haven't you?
Yeah, myself personally, I've been in shows such as We'll Rock You in the West End, Mamma Mia, Jersey Boys, the show itself, touring the UK. The other boys are performing on the evening have also performed in various shows such as Cats, Saturday Night Fever, Grease, just to name a few.
Yeah, and say, yeah, a huge talent. And I mean, what's it like going out with a show like this? Because you know the audience are going to love you as soon as you get on the stage.
We love being on tour with the show. The four guys, we've been touring together for quite a few years now, and we know each other very well. So we have a lot of fun. We like to bring that fun onto stage with us. And one of the comments we receive quite regularly is, "You guys look like you love each other," and we really do.
Yeah, and it's about that presence that you can bring because of that, about the fact that you're singing together. It is harmony, so it's important you have harmony off stage as well as on, even though that maybe wasn't quite the case for Frankie Valli and the gang themselves.
Yeah, for those who may have seen the stage show, you will have known about their tumultuous time together. So we don't bring that part of the show onto our stage. No, we're very much the best of friends, getting to do what we love the most, traveling up and down the country and the world.
Yeah, and if there's anybody who loves music and loves the music of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, this is going to make an amazing gift for them, something to celebrate with and look forward to in the new year. As I say, it is the 11th of January, one night only, and we are expecting an absolutely packed house, so it's get in there quick with the tickets, isn't it?
Yes, please. They do make the perfect Christmas gift, and they fit nicely into an envelope.
Works every time. I know you're going to have a great time with it. Rachel Egg have a wonderful time singing the songs. Which one's your favourite that you're going to be enjoying singing most on the night?
Ooh, it varies. I've been singing the songs for a long time, but at the moment, my favourite is the beautiful "My Eyes Adored You."
Well, it's going to be an absolute treat. It is on at the Grand on the 11th of January. Grandtheatre.co.uk to get your tickets. Just look for Frankie's Guys on the What's On list or give the box office a call on 01902 429212. Well, have a brilliant time, James. Have a wonderful Christmas, and we look forward to seeing you on stage in the new year.
Yes, thank you. And if you can't make the date, please check us out at www.frankiesguys.com to find out when we might be traveling to a venue near you, or find us at Frankie's Guys on Instagram for a bit of backstage fun and to see the boys in action. Thank you.
Now, festive fear is a thing, anxiety around social occasions. Yep, I think we've all been there. Merlin Griffiths is here to give us a few tips on how to stay chilled. How are you doing, sir?
Very well, very well. Thank you, Jason. Merry Christmas to you.
And Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you.
So, what is happening here? Because social anxiety is definitely a thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So there's this great research that's just been done by Rueda. It's a designation of origin of a winemaking region, northwestern Madrid. And they've done this research. 47% of people have genuine dread of picking wine from a wine list when they're handed the wine list. And 31% won't order it if they can't pronounce it. How's your pronunciation of wine?
It's absolutely horrendous. I've been looking down this list, and I don't think I can get through many of them. The Gavi at the bottom, I'm hoping I got right. 6% of people are struggling with that one, but 59% are having to go at Taxacoli. Is that anything like
Chacoli.
Chacoli. You don't pronounce the X.
Yeah. No. Well, the TX comes as a CH, right? Yeah. It's actually a Spanish wine as well. It looks like it could be Greek, but it's not. It's Spanish. But there we are. And then we have a couple of German ones on the list there as well. That's right. I was very surprised to see people struggle with Gewürztraminer, that we've also, which largely us in hospitality just shortened to a Gewürz, when we're working behind bars.
Same goes for Chateauneuf-du-Pape. I mean, I thought that was it was almost a comedy wine for its expense back in the day. So you kind of expect people to know that one.
No, oh, very good wine, Chateauneuf-du-Pape. Yeah, we like that. Yeah, and likewise at the bottom of the list, though, I'm very happy to see it's low down on the list. Is the one that Rueda themselves are most famous for, which is Verdejo. Okay, and that's the grape variety that they have around there, but also the name that you'll see on the bottles themselves as well. So if you look for Verdejos, you're in for a great wine, and it's the one that I'm tipping for people to drink with their Christmas dinner. If I'm honest, it's perfect.
Because pairing wine with food is a tricky one, and that people just don't get it as well as they could do. But equally, I mean, wine is about enjoying when you fancy a drink as well. It doesn't have to go with a meal, does it?
No, that's right. Yeah, there's wines for all sorts of moments, but then every moment could be said to be for wine. As long as you're enjoying in moderation, then I think it's absolutely wonderful. Yeah, just have a glass of wine on its own. You don't necessarily have to match it with food. But I think also sort of challenge those expectations, because while we normally say sort of white wines with white meats and fish and so on, and red wines with red meats, but yet when you come to Christmas dinner, I do find many of my friends tend to default to red, funnily enough, because it's seen as a more special occasion kind of wine. I'd say no, stick with the white. Right, for Christmas dinner. I think it works better in this sort of case. You want something a little lighter, maybe those little citrus notes to cut through all of those rich flavours that you've got on your plate. Pairs well with Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, but that is the tricky one. But I think, I mean, I like something like applesauce with my turkey rather than cranberry, and so it's quite nice to have a wine which goes well with the applesauce, and most of the white wine does, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, exactly. That sounds like a great shout. Honestly, I shall have to tell my girlfriend about this. You see, she likes horseradish with everything, not just beef.
I suppose it wakes you up, but I think when it comes to the other, people are disappointed because they will, if they're buying a wine, they'll just go, "Oh, I'll get a red," or "Oh, I'll get a white," rather than looking at a bit of the detail. It is important to read the label, isn't it?
I think so, and that's a great tip actually, and one that I've been sharing. Certainly, look on the back of the bottle. Do you know what? So many times it comes with a little story about the wine, or at least tells you about the grapes, or what kind of oak it's been aged in, or what kind of wood it's been aged in, and things like this. There's always some information on the back of the bottle, so it's always worth reading those. And that way, you don't have to pretend to be an expert. You now actually know a little something about what you've got in your hands, and that's really nice when it comes to, say, gifting as well. You can not only now gift a nice bottle of wine, you can tell the person you're giving the gift to a little bit about it, which is great. Also, don't forget, use the expertise of the people you're buying from as well, whether that's at the supermarket, right? You'll find they do have knowledgeable wine staff there, or at your wine merchant, or in your local restaurant or pub, right? Seriously, absorb the knowledge, trust them, and they'll tell you all about things. And I think there's the really nice part about this as well, is that it allows you to then get into new things. See, so if you just turn up and say, well, I like a Sauvignon, right? I love a Sauvignon Blanc. Have you got something similar? And that's where you'll suddenly start seeing loads of different recommendations coming forward, you see. Anything from the Verdejos themselves through to, say, a nice Pinot Gris from New Zealand. There's so many different options where you can get that lovely sort of bright, zesty kind of wine going on. And similarly for other grapes and other types that you might like.
Have you ever had a wine faux pas yourself, though?
A wine faux pas. I don't think there is such a thing. Yeah. Is there? Is there a wine faux pas? No, I mean, you see, it's easy to have a wine faux pas, I suppose, from the sense of you. The research did come across that it's a turn-off in dating if you pretend to be an expert. So don't be scared to say I don't know. Times. Yeah. I mean, I know wine, but do I know wine? It's such a vast subject. You can't know everything about it in that sort of sense. Nigh on impossible to. Don't put on an accent turns out to be a dating turn-off as well. A third of people asked said yes. Right.
So no pretend to be a wine sommelier and no trying to say it in a French accent either.
No, unless you are French, of course.
Yeah, well, that's probably allowed. So we've got some great times ahead of us over the next few weeks with Christmas and New Year. And say there is a pairing for wine for all of it. But the pairing is, it's something you enjoy, and you don't have to take any snobbery with it. You enjoy the wine; it's good. Just don't enjoy it too much to the point of excess, and savor it. I think is the story.
I think you're absolutely right, Jason, and that's it. And also, don't be afraid to explore. Right, look down a list, and if you can't pronounce it and you don't even want to try, just go, I'll have that one, please.
Yeah, it's got a nice picture on the bottle. I like the story about the grapes, and by the sounds of things, it fits in with my taste. So go for it.
Perfect. You see, you got it in one.
Where do we go for more information and the survey?
Right. Yeah, have a look. They have an Instagram account. I think it's probably the best place to start with web links there. And that's Rueda Wines, RuedaWines, Rueda Wines _UK. Pop online to Instagram and you will find out loads more about it. I'd recommend going on holiday up there as well. Beautiful part of the world.
Sounds good. Can we find you and your antics over the next few weeks on the socials as well?
You can, yeah. I should be there. Merlin FTC4 on Instagram and just about everything. Well, not almost everything else. Same handle. And yeah, look out for more first dates as well coming up. There's lots more fun and games to be had there.
Merlin Griffiths, bartender, pub owner, and of course host of Three Landlords Walk Into a Bar, the podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you ever so much. You have a Merry Christmas now.
You too. Grime Gran is telling us hang up, love, as she's looking at rewriting British etiquette when it comes to the age of the scam callers that we get on our phones these days. To tell us more about how we should react when we are potentially trying to be duped by a scam caller, I'm joined by Grime Gran herself, Margie Keefe, also by grandson Bo, and by Rupert Wesson, director at Debrett's, the UK's leading etiquette experts for more than 250 years. Good afternoon to you all.
Hello, mate. Hi, Jason.
Right, okay, let's start off here. Bo, what's going on? Because this is a scam age, isn't it? How are you getting involved in all this?
Well, we're here to work with the Brits, obviously, to bring this message to light that it's okay to basically put the phone down and then change your manners when talking to scammers, especially over the Christmas period. It's obviously important for me because this lovely old lady here is my nan.
Not so much of the old.
Not so much for the old, but obviously she's my nan, so there are scam artists that will target the elderly, especially over this Christmas period, but scammers will target everyone and anyone, and it's important, especially now at Christmas, to help get the message across.
Absolutely. And when it comes to, do I call you Grime Gran, or should I refer to you as Margie?
Call me Margie.
Margie, have you had any scam calls trying to take you for a ride?
Yes, I have. I have had quite a few, but I just don't acknowledge it, really. I just wait and hear what they say. I don't even say hello. I wait and listen, and then I just hang up rather quickly. So they haven't really had a good chance to tell me anything.
Well, this is it. You don't need to hear the message because you know it's not true. When it comes to the etiquette of this, Rupert, I mean, it is a different age, whereas in the past, if we thought we might have a wrong number, we'd be polite and help. But these days, it is more likely to be a scammer than anything else.
Yeah, a lot of the big utility companies, which is who the scammers usually impersonate, they don't actually call you. So if you get a call from somebody claiming to be the utility company, it's a good chance it isn't them. And often the problem is we are too polite. Now, it doesn't mean you can't be safe and secure and you have to be rude, but just be courteous, but not compliant, I think would be the first thing that we need to remember. And EE have produced with us a guide for modern manners in a scam age.
So yeah, we've got to make sure we look after ourselves first of all, and yeah, if it is somebody real, then actually it would be quite clear very quickly. I think that the scams are hopefully fairly easy to spot, but they will try and catch us out on panic. And Margie, I mean, what's the worst they've tried to do to you? I mean, or did you just not listen to a word of it at all?
Well, they usually start off with, your card's been used at so-and-so at 9:30 this morning. So the card is safely tucked in my bag, so I know it's a scam. So then I don't reply, because they're doing this thing with a voice thing now that we've been informed about. They get your voice and they can scam your family into thinking that you need help or something. So I just then hang up, whether it's rude or not. Why be polite and they're trying to scam you?
Absolutely. And Bo, when it comes to it, I mean, if you did get a random phone call from someone purporting to be your gran, you would probably be able to tell the difference anyway, wouldn't you? But it's not always that easy for everybody.
No, but I would, because it would probably be a lot more politer than what she would normally say to me. But I think it's important to remember it's not just over the phone. These things can happen over social media as well. It's very easy to fall into the trap. And it can catch you at any time. And a lot of people might feel stupid about it sometimes, but these scammers can catch you at any time. If you're having a bad day at work, you're rushing to get into a meeting, you've got anxiety, the kids are running around the house. It's very easy just to fall into that trap. But one of the main things is just trust your gut. Like 90% of the time, you will know what's genuine and what's not.
And Rupert, and we know that EE have got around 1 million calls flagged as suspicious on the network every day. So that is a lot of calls, and it's a lot of potential to end up being rude, even though it's necessary.
Yeah, it's every minute, every hour, every day. And EE have got a huge group of 3,000 security professionals who actually help out. And if you get the security professionals involved, they can help out and they can prevent things escalating. And really what you're doing by reporting it, by not engaging in this, you're actually helping yourself and you're helping other people as well. There's a number to report to. There's suspicious text, for example, you can go to 7726. Doesn't matter which network you're on, and that will register, and that will the security experts will start looking at, and they can block numbers and do all the right things to protect us.
So you basically forward it on for free, and then once it's got to that number, they investigate. They know who you are because they'll be able to see that from their files, and they know that you're not the scammer trying to catch them out. But it is a tricky one, and the things that seem to be unbelievable with this world. I mean, Margie, again, I know your recent running over a jacket potato story. I mean, it's quite unbelievable to realise that someone may not know what a jacket potato is. Tell us a bit about this one.
It's really strange because to us in this country, a jacket potato is a jacket potato. Obviously, in America, it's not. It's something else. So when I asked the question, the answer was who. So, that was a bit strange to me, but there you go.
And it's cultural things like that can probably help you spot a scammer as well. So the way things are said, the way they come across. I think the test is now, if you want to find out whether it's a scammer, ask them what a jacket potato is. And if they don't know, then chances are they're ringing you from somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is now, they seem to be getting hold of mobile numbers because I keep getting a certain mobile number phoning my phone. And it's nobody that we know. So that's another thing. You just cut it off straight away.
Yeah, it is tricky because I mean they do clone numbers, and I get a lot of calls from phone numbers that I don't have in my phone. So they may have cloned somebody else's number, so it appears like a proper call. I've then rung them back, and they've gone, "No, I haven't rung you." And you say, "Well, in which case your number's been cloned by a scammer. Do be careful out there, and you may get quite a few irate people ringing up trying to see what's going on." So it puts us all on edge, doesn't it, when something like this happens? So I know that the networks are doing their best to avoid that sort of thing. Where do we go to find out more about how to avoid scams and to make sure that we understand what's happening and can forward on the details or call somebody if we do get a scam call?
If you just search for EE Mind Your Manners, and you'll get the guide there, and that will tell you everything you need to know about dodgy texts, dodgy socials, phone calls, and everything else.
And if it's not a scammer, Rupert, how should we deal with people on the phone? What should our greeting be these days? Because normally know who it is phoning these days.
Yeah, if it's an unknown number, then just say hello and wait for them to explain who it is. And if you're even slightly suspicious, don't be afraid of hanging up. Just take a pause and think, does this sound right? Don't be rushed into it. One of the things that scammers love to do is to rush people, put them under pressure. So take a breath, take a pause, and then just say, this doesn't feel right, and hang up. And again, if they're pretending to be the utilities or the bank, you can always go onto the website, find the correct number, and then phone the company yourself. And that's a much safer way of doing business.
Absolutely. And when it comes to it, Marjorie, if people want to find you online as well, you and Bo are obviously helping people out when you say, the Kardashians want to identify vegetables.
Yeah, if they want to find us on socials, they can.
Yeah.
Nanny's there at Grime Gran. I'm there at Bo the Beard. And we will be also doing some content over the coming days and weeks just to help get this message across. Because as we said, we do think it's really important. And it's important for us youngsters to pass the message on to people.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking out for our loved ones.
Yeah, exactly. And that isn't just the people who are older than us, that's the youngsters as well, because there's a lot of youngsters on social media that can fall into that trap. So it's important for our generation to take on some of that responsibility.
Absolutely. Well, Bo, Grime Gran and Rupert Weston, Director at Debrett's, thank you all for joining us.
Thank you very much, mate.
Thank you very much.
Now, it is Panto season. There are some absolutely amazing shows up and down the country. But if you can't get out to a theatre, or if you're looking for something to watch when you've got the family round at home, then Peter Duncan is your man to look after you. How are you doing, sir?
All right, Jason, thank you very much.
Well, it's good to talk to you once more about this wonderful online panto that you are bringing to people's screens, and you've got a series of them to explore, haven't you?
Yes, it continues really. I mean, we obviously started around COVID time and made 3 films, and they went out to schools and into cinemas and to families at home when they couldn't go to theatres. But even though theatres are back in full force again, you can go to the theatre and you can watch this as well, so it's something, not say to keep the kids quiet, but keep the grown-ups quiet while the kids cook the lunch. But I mean, it just seems to work. So every year we put them out, and because it's dead easy to do, because I'm essentially a mini streamer. And you just sign up and click on it, pay a paltry sum of £10, and you can watch it, as many times as you like, probably forever.
Well, I think we will be going back, and I think that's the thing with Panto. You want to go back and watch it a number of times, because not only are there going to be some good fun songs in there, the kids will have their favourite bit as well, but it's getting all the gags, and these are a gag fest, aren't they?
They are. I mean, I'm very much a panto. I like a good story, and I obviously like good characters, like comedy to be funny. I like the dame to be eccentric and the baddie to be bad. So they are a bit of a romp. But what happens on film is that you've got the time to react, because obviously when we filmed it, we made sure that they're all the right pauses. So it looks like the chap on the screen or the chapess on the screen is actually waiting for your response before they carry on. So, and having seen it in the cinema, that was such a surprise, because you think, oh, is this going to work? And of course it does. There's a lot of shouting at the screen in cinema now. Get off.
I mean, you've been doing panto in real life though, so the skills you have been honed there, haven't they?
They have a bit, yeah. I mean, that's what my parents did. I grew up watching my parents do pantomime, and my dad being the funny man and my mum being the soprano, the soubrette, the principal girl. Later on, as she got a bit older, the principal boy. And, I used to come along with them, and I used to be my old man stooge in the song sheet. So it's very much imbued in my history. But I didn't really start it till much long time after my Blue Peter days. And I suppose I always wanted to write and produce them as well. So that's kind of essentially what I've done. Done my own, what's the expression? Done my own bag. Is that right? I might make that up.
So when you get to be part of it, you get to choose who you are in the shows as well. So give us a rundown of who you get to be in the pantos that are out there.
Self-casting, I mean, yes. Oh, I'm by far the best choice for this role. So in the first one, I was Dame Trot in Jack and the Beanstalk. And that's a good part, a dame part, because she loses her cow, and there's she doesn't know how to sort her son out, Jack, who's fighting against the gas guzzling giant. I was an ugly sister called Billie Eyelash. I like that. I made
that's clever. That's clever.
And in the second, now Cinderella, and then in the third pantomime, which we filmed, which is a sort of a mishmash of lots of stories, really. I was Dame Dolly Donut, always northern, and yes, and Dame Dolly actually has just done a very new Christmas sing along, which I'm putting out with the Pantos now. So if you get a Panto, you also get a Dame Dolly Donut sing along, which was bordering on a major production in itself, really.
So well worth having a watch. Full details can be found online. Where do we find them?
It's pantoonline.co.uk. Sign up, create a password, and then just enjoy.
And the fun bit as well, everybody, I mean, the kids are aware of Blue Peter, and they will continue to watch it because it is a staple. Anyone who's just that little bit older is going to remember Peter Duncan on Blue Peter and all the mad things that you did with Duncan Dares and everything else that goes with it. So yeah, seeing you in Panto as well, that's going to be another special moment for them, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's nice of you to say so, Jason, but to some maybe. I think I turned on the Christmas lights where I live in East Sussex, and I heard somebody, "Oh, I don't know who he is." So it depends how old you are, really.
You have to be the right age, suitably mature, but
Yeah.
the real people are the ones who, you, Simon, and Sarah doing your thing back in the day.
Yeah, it's odd though, because if you're an actor and you're 70s, 80s, I mean, even the last years I've been doing lots of musical theatre and lots of telly stuff. So different people know you from different things, really. I mean, certainly the old boys I play walking football with, know me from Blue Peter, but younger people, it just depends what you watch. There's so much stuff to watch now. It's hard to know who anyone is, really.
As long as you've got talent, and we know you have, then it's going to work for all the family, isn't it? So that's going to be good.
Well, that's very sweet of you. Yes, it certainly does work, and it's about time I watched it again. I might even, when the family argument breaks out on Christmas Day, I'll just go and watch one of my pantos. That's not true, but I'll threaten it.
That'll sort them out. Right. Well, have a brilliant time with it. Have a brilliant Christmas with all the family, and we look forward to even more stuff from you as we head into 2026.
Let's hope so. Yeah, Priscilla, I'm touring Priscilla. I don't think we're coming to Wolverhampton, but yeah, all around the country, not far from Wolverhampton. If
We'll
fancy
find
it.
you somewhere. That's what counts.
Sure. All right. Nice to talk to you, Jason.
And when it comes to household hacks, there's many of us who could do with a few good ideas, whether it be from watering lawns at night and then leaving the heating on low all day. There's all sorts of things that can cut our costs if we keep an eye on them. Nick Knowles knows how to spend as little as possible on getting the best he can, and is here with me now. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, very good. Thank you very much. How are you keeping?
I'm good. Good to talk to you again. And these household hacks here could actually save us cash, but also make our life that bit easier too.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting what we think we know and what we believe and what's actually true. So there's a whole load of, there's sort of between household hacks and old wives' tales. So, like, we'll see if we run a few past you and see whether you recognise any of them. If you keep conkers on the windowsill, it keeps spiders away. You ever heard that one?
I have heard that one, but I have to admit, I don't want conkers cluttering up my windowsill.
And to be honest, if you did, spiders would find it a nice place to build a web. As there's no evidence for it absolutely at all. In actual fact, quite handy to have spiders around the house if you can put up with them, because they actually keep lots of other pests and flies and all kinds of other things away. So if you can make friends with them, it'd be much better. And there is no evidence for it either. Painting your radiators black on the inside. Anyone ever told you that? That helps.
Having a degree in chemical physics, I'm aware of black body radiation, but it's getting it in the right place to actually transmit, isn't it? So yeah, the metal itself will be the bit that moves the heat around.
Exactly right, and you're quite right. And I think basically what this comes from is that people know that if you leave a piece of like a black car out in the sunshine in the summer, it gets red hot. Whereas if it's a white one, it will be less hot, and it's like because of reflecting heat and absorbing heat, which is why our solar panels are all black, because that makes sense. But on the inside of the house where there's no sun striking it, it's not going to make any difference at all. What would be handy is if you could put some of that foil that you put on the wall behind the radiator, which will reflect more of the heat into the room and less of it disappearing through the wall and into the alleyway next door. So that's that kind of makes sense. But there's all kinds of weird stuff, like most women believe and have been told by their mums or their grandmas, if they go out in winter with wet hair, they'll catch a cold. Which actually, if you think about it, a cold is a germ. There's no way that there's no correlation. There's no correlation between being cold and getting a cold. One's a germ and one is actually a feeling. It's just that we put the two things together. And there's things like watering at night. You should always water your plants at night or not during the day. Well, actually, most gardeners will tell you that's a bad idea. You should water your garden first thing in the morning. And the reason for that is if you water it at night, it's an environment for slugs, and your slugs will come and eat everything. If you water first thing in the morning, the sun will then dry the surface, and it won't be a good environment for slugs. And so you're less likely to have slug damage if you water it in the morning. So there's all kinds of bits and bobs. And then the final one that I'll bring up, which is really the point of the whole thing, is that most of us believe electricity is cheaper at night. And it can be, but it isn't necessarily. And I think that's a leftover from the years where we used to have, I don't know whether you remember, night storage heaters.
Yeah, Economy 7, that was a thing.
There you go. Where basically you had a heater on the wall, which if you took the cover off was just two massive brick blocks, essentially. And it was like the whole thing about thermal mass. So you heated up these blocks during the night when electricity was cheap, and then it would radiate the heat from these blocks during the day. Not high-end technology, but it used to do the job all right. The fact of the matter is these days, the electricity can be cheaper at night and maybe at weekends as well. I have a particular system that I'm on where I get cheaper energy at night and on Sundays. And that I've accessed that through my smart meter. And smart meters are now, most 70% of meters around the country are smart meters, and you can access through that system to get hold of these tariffs and special schemes. But if you don't go onto a tariff or special scheme, electricity at night will cost you just as much as it does during the day.
Yeah, got to with this is because I mean, back in the Economy 7 days, you actually had a separate meter for that sort of thing. These days, with technology, the smart meter not only can tell you what time of day you're using the electric and therefore tell your electricity company what time of day you're using it, but it also tells you what you're using, so you know when you're being efficient too.
Yeah, you ought to be doing these interviews instead of me. I mean, it's like, but a little bit of engineering knowledge makes that. The other thing that, of course, it does, if you've got a smart meter and it's sat there, you get one of these little readouts that sits on the kitchen counter where you can see it. It's amazing how, like, when the family come home and all the lights are on in the house and all the kids around having dinner around the table, and you think, well, hang on a second, and you go around the house and switch off all the lights in rooms that aren't being used. Or, for example, if you make a cup of tea and you put the kettle on, if you fill the entire kettle to make one cup of tea, you can see the thing spinning away and going, that's ridiculous. I'm using all this electricity for no reason. You put a tiny amount of water in and heat that, you don't use half as much electricity. And so you go, actually, on each of these things, so that the smart meter itself won't save you money, but what it does is it makes you aware of where you're wasting money, if you see what I mean. And also, through it, you can access these various different schemes as well to make sure that you're actually saving at weekends. I should say, from a safety point of view, you really shouldn't use your washing machine and tumble dryer when you're asleep at night, but you get cheaper electricity in the evening when you're awake. You could do it in the evening, and as I say, on Sundays and things like that.
What I wanted to know is, obviously, you got your acoustic guitar next year. Have you worked out how much it cost you to play your electric guitar when you want to sort of chill out?
Yeah, amazing, not very much at all. Actually getting it, but switching on the guitar is not very expensive. Actually, because with the smart meter, you can plug it in, start playing it, and you can see it actually registering as you're using it. That's the thing. If you've got the smart meter available, and you can keep an eye on it. You can see what you're spending your money on. The other thing is, like with all kinds of devices you have around the house that are on standby, but they're still using electricity. You go off and switch them all off and not have them on standby, and again, you're saving money even in those circumstances too. But it's not an expensive thing. And actually, things like there are mechanical ventilation, the heat recovery systems. We have houses, all the heat goes up in the house and ends up, if you've got a loft conversion, all ends up in the loft. I mean, there's this weird thing where basically you have to put a load of insulation in because of regulations, and you want your house to be like, insulated to keep the heat in. If you ever do a loft conversion, you'll know you can't breathe in a loft conversion because of all the insulation. It's so hot, so everybody cracks a window, which completely negates all the insulation that you put into the place anyway. So little things like heat recovery units and mechanical ventilation, which will circulate that and send the heat back downstairs and clean the air for you at the same time, in the long term, will save you money. But you and I both know the difficulty with a lot of these retrofit things like solar is that the people who really need to reduce their bills can't afford the outlay in the first place to pay for all this stuff in the first place. Various government schemes have been used to do it, and they've been so successful they've stopped them. So, but there are, look, there are all kinds of different ways. Retrofitting things to make your house more effective. I mean, like insulation is always a good idea.
Yeah.
Dealing with drafts and draft excluders around windows and things like that, all a good idea. Like I say, the reflective stuff behind your radiators to make sure you're not just heating the wall behind the radiator and the alleyway outside, but actually heating the room These are all good things. But a smart meter also are making sure that you've actually got you've got the best price electricity when you're using it.
Absolutely.
Is just a really sensible idea, I think.
Yeah, working your tariffs, make sure you're getting what you need. And because the air heat pumps these days, air source heat pumps, they're using a small amount of electricity to get a good amount of heat into your home as well, aren't they? So there's
Yeah.
that one, and there is a government scheme for that one, I think, too.
There is, and that's actually government schemes for installation and things like that. You can access those kind of things. I'm a big fan of ground source heating as well, where it's possible to put it in. I think basically we got like the government are talking about doing what is it, 1.5 million new homes. If they made them all solar, that they had to have solar roofs and ground source heating, then and rainwater harvesting, then you reduce water usage, you reduce electricity, you reduce power and energy, and they're much more. It's odd that we say let's insulate them when we build them, but we don't talk about the other heating systems and things that would actually drive down the cost. But look, there are various schemes to help you retrofit, and at the very least, what you can do, as I say, with the smart meter, is keep an eye on where you're spending it and where you need to make gains.
Absolutely, yeah. Spend as little as you can, make the most out of it possible, and track it all with your smart energy meter. So, where can we find out more about getting a smart meter if we haven't got one already?
Well, smartenergy.org is a really good place to start, but your energy company should be able to point you in the right direction. And a matter of interest, if you don't have a smart meter, you can speak to your energy company, and they'll make sure that you get one put in.
Yeah, always good to speak to you, Nick Knowles, expert guru when it comes to all things around the home. Thank you for joining us.
Nice to chat to you. Take care.
Well, that's a lot for this week. Thank you so much for joining me back with episode 862 next week, which will be released on New Year's Eve because it is the Milk Bar end of year quiz for 2025. Our two teams will be battling out to find out who will be the winner. We'll find out next week how it all goes. Meanwhile, have an absolutely fantastic Christmas, and I'll see you just ahead of 2026.
Goodbye from the milk bar. 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 Yeah. Goodbye from the milk bar. Yeah.